Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. I'm being joined now on the program by Opeyemi Oguntade, who is a senior economic research analyst with financial derivatives company. She joins me to take a look at the state of commodities. We do that regularly on the program, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And today happens to fall at a time when the presidency has set up a task force to check why the food prices, the price of food items across the country is on the rise. So, Opeyemi, a good morning to you. It's great to have you join me on the program.
Good morning, Harriet.
So let's talk about this news now, this task force. What do you make of it?
Well, first when I saw the headline, I was like, okay, it's about time, because really the agricultural sector needs some form of support in terms of transportation and as well as preservation. We know the state of the silos isn't so great. And we know that we lose a significant amount of commodities produced every year to wastage, because it hasn't been preserved properly, or while it was being transported because of the heat, some of these perishable items, spoiled. For an example would be tomatoes. We produce about 1.5 million tons. But out of the 1.5 million tons, about 900,000 tons do not make it to the consumers because it's, along the way got spoiled or, just damages here and there. And so I say, okay, so now the government is, bringing up a task force to address the preservation issues as well as transportation issues. And I saw the, the list of the ministers that have been, drawn into this task force. You have the Minister of Transportation, you have the Minister of Finance, you have the Minister of Water Resources.
Those key ministries.
Yes, the key ministries. And I think looking at what the government has done so far, with respect to transportation, we know that, Lagos, there's a Lagos-Ibadan railway that is coming upstream, expected to come upstream in March. And, they've been able to secure approval from the Chinese Export-Import Bank for $1.5 billion, but they haven't gotten approval from the National Assembly yet. But as soon as they do get the approval, then we should see that coming on stream in March. But there's some other, rail networks they have to address, cross-country rail networks from from Calabar to Port Harcourt, from Lagos to Kano, from Lagos to Kaduna. All this will, they'll go a long way in, reducing transportation costs and even reducing wastage, because then you don't have to deal with the long distance via roads, and then you have, some of these goods perishing before they get to their destination.
But then for those farmers who actually have this produce, their main issue, for instance, apart from the fact that they can't get transport to get their produce out, is the fact that they can't even go to the farms. Like for those who are in the northeast now, for those who are in Benue State, for instance, because of this constant clash between the farmers and some herdsmen, they are scared to go to their farms. So apart from the fact that you can't get transport to come out, you can't even go to the farm to harvest your produce.
So yeah, that's where the Ministry of Defense comes in, because at the end of the day, you need security as well. No farmer wants to go to the farm to, to try to produce some products, and at the end of the day, he ends up losing his life, or and in fact, apart from the security of your life, you're also looking at some of these products that have been destroyed by, herdsmen and grazing from their, their cows and whatnot. You also have to try to assist farmers in such a way that you provide them with insurance against damages on some of their products. Because really, nobody wants to have to work so hard and then make a loss on their labor. You want to enjoy the fruits of your labor, so to speak. So there's also the aspect of insurance. There's a lot the government can do to assist these farmers, and I'm hoping the task force will take everything into account on all faces: insurance, transportation, preservation, security, water resources. You need in the north is it's really not, it's kind of like a dry land. You need proper irrigation services to make sure that this product gets enough water and you get significant yields.
So you talked about insurance. This would be a very good time for all insurance companies, for the insurance sector to step up to the plate and see how they can contribute to bring out products that will be interesting to some of these farmers and not make them so expensive for them to buy into.
I'm pretty sure the insurance sector already has that on stream, in the sense that if you look at the direction of the government since they came into the administration, there's been a lot of focus on agriculture. We also know agriculture was one of the sectors that grew significantly in the last quarter by about 4.5%. So I'm sure the insurance companies know that this is the time to take advantage of government policies and bring our products out there to ensure to provide insurance for farmers. But the question is, we also have the issue of literacy and also being aware of these products being there, because some of the farmers may not be aware that they could get some of these products, and at what price are they going to be selling these products to the farmer. That's another that's another area we have to, look at.
And then it seems as if the current prices of some of these agri-commodities, they seem to be defying post-festive season and, still on the increase, sort of, or just staying flat.
Yeah, an example would be palm oil. The demand for palm oil has increased significantly over the year, and palm oil, it's just maintaining that upward trend. Even though we've seen some other products like rice has come down from about, from about 24K, now it's about, 18, 17K, which
about just slightly 2,000 less than the minimum wage.
Yes, well, I mean, before it was above the minimum wage, but now it's less than the minimum wage, and we're hoping maybe if the labor unions get it right and they're able to review the minimum wage upwards, then yeah, a bag of rice wouldn't be a problem anymore. But
no, it's really not funny, especially when you look at it that's a staple food.
Yes.
That's what everybody. I know that in a week there are a lot of people, including me, who if you don't eat rice, you just feel as if you haven't had any tangible
if there's
food.
any Nigerian that can go a week without eating rice.
So
it's a staple. It's very important. You can't take it out of your diet. If it's not white rice, it's jollof rice. It's not jollof rice, it's fried rice. If it's not fried rice, it's fada rice. So rice is really important, and hopefully we hope that the government will be able to address this rise in prices with their task force if they do things properly.
But then for you, there's some burning issues that were highlighted in today's report from Financial Derivatives,
yes,
including the PMI, which has fallen back to negative territory,
yes,
and the fact that the Central Bank of Nigeria sold about $660 million
yes,
to clear backlogs.
Okay, so starting off with the PMI, last year in December, we saw that the PMI crossed over to the positive territory. The CBN PMI went from about went back to 52, and the FBN PMI rose sharply to 60. But then now we see them, reverting back to the contraction territory. And this one could argue that this is just a one-off